My hands were shaking so badly, I almost dropped my cappuccino. I sat frozen at the small corner table in Brew and Bean coffee shop, staring at the back of my husband Marcus's head just 15 feet in front of me. Next to him, laughing at something he just said, was his ex-girlfriend Simone. Her hand was resting on top of his on the table. His thumb was gently stroking her fingers. I had come to this coffee shop by complete accident. My regular place was closed for renovations, so I walked 2 blocks further to try this one. I ordered my usual drink, turned around to find a seat, and there he was. My husband of 7 years. The man who told me this morning he had back-to-back meetings all day and wouldn't be home until 8 tonight. It was 2:30 in the afternoon. He was supposed to be in a conference room at his consulting firm. Instead, he was here, dressed in the navy blazer I helped him pick out last month, sitting way too close to the woman he dated for 3 years before he met me. My first instinct was to march over there and demand to know what was happening. But something stopped me. Maybe it was the way they were looking at each other. Maybe it was the sick feeling in my stomach that told me this wasn't their first secret meeting. Whatever it was, I stayed in my seat. I pulled out my phone and pretended to scroll, but really I was recording video. Then I leaned back just slightly so I could hear their conversation. What I heard in the next 45 minutes changed everything I thought I knew about my marriage. Marcus was speaking in that soft voice he used when we first started dating. The voice I hadn't heard in maybe 2 years. Baby, I've been thinking about what you said last week. You're right. It's time. I can't keep living this double life. It's not fair to you. Simone squeezed his hand. I'm so glad you finally see it. I've been patient, Marcus. So patient. But watching you go home to her every night is killing me. We belong together. We always have. I wanted to scream. I wanted to throw my hot coffee right at both of them. But I forced myself to stay quiet and keep recording. Marcus nodded. I know. I was stupid to let you go in the first place. My mother kept saying you weren't serious enough, that you were too focused on your career to be a good wife. So I listened to her. I started dating other people. Then I met Keisha at that work event, and she seemed perfect on paper. Stable job, wants kids, gets along with my family. My mom loved her immediately. Hearing him talk about me like I was just a check box on some list made my blood boil. But there's no passion, he continued. No fire. With you, Simone, I feel alive. These 6 months of seeing you again have reminded me what I've been missing. I made the wrong choice. I need to fix it. 6 months. They had been doing this for 6 months. While I was planning our anniversary trip. While I was helping his mother recover from her surgery. While I was cooking his favorite meals and ironing his shirts and being the perfect wife his family expected me to be. Simone was smiling now. So what's your plan? When are you going to tell her? Soon. I'm working on it. I need to figure out the financial side first. She works, but her income is a lot less than mine. Our house is in both names. The cars, the savings accounts, everything is joint. My lawyer said I need to be smart about this. Lawyer? He already had a lawyer. What did your lawyer say specifically? Simone asked. He said if I can show that she's doing something wrong, or that the marriage is failing because of her, I might not have to split everything 50-50. He suggested I start documenting things, like if she's spending too much money, or not taking care of the house properly, or if we're fighting a lot. Build a case that she's not holding up her end of the marriage. My mouth dropped open. He was planning to frame me as a bad wife so he could cheat me in the divorce. That sounds complicated, Simone said. Is it worth all that trouble? Can't you just leave? Marcus shook his head. Do you know how much money we're talking about? The house alone is worth $400,000. We have about $200,000 in savings and retirement accounts. My annual bonus is usually around $75,000. If I just walk away and split everything fairly, I lose half of it all. That's nearly $350,000, Simone. I didn't work this hard to hand over that much money. So you'd rather destroy her reputation and make her look bad? Even though she hasn't done anything wrong. He shrugged. She'll be fine. She has her job. She'll move on eventually. Women always do. But I need to protect my assets. Once the divorce is final, you and I can finally be together properly. No more hiding. We can even buy that condo downtown you love, the one with the rooftop terrace. Simone leaned in and kissed him, right on the mouth, in the coffee shop where anyone could see, where I was seeing. I love you so much, she whispered. I can't wait until you're all mine. I love you too, baby. Just give me a few more weeks. I'm going to talk to my lawyer again next Tuesday. We'll figure out the best way to make this happen with minimum damage to my finances. They talked for another 10 minutes about their plans, about the trips they wanted to take together, about how his family would probably be shocked at first, but would eventually accept it once they saw how happy he was, about how I would probably cry and make a scene, but would eventually sign whatever papers he put in front of me because I was always so agreeable. That last part made me see red. Agreeable. That's what he thought of me. A pushover who would just accept whatever he decided. Finally, they stood up to leave. Marcus kissed her one more time, promised to text her later, and watched her walk out to her car. Then he checked his watch, pulled out his phone, and left through the other door. I sat there for another 5 minutes, making sure he was really gone. My whole body was shaking. 7 years. 7 years of marriage, and this was what I got. Not even an honest conversation. Just secret planning with his ex to cheat me out of money that was rightfully half mine. But here's what Marcus didn't know about me. I might have been agreeable in our marriage, but I wasn't stupid. I had been working as an accountant for 9 years. I knew how money worked. I knew how to track it, document it, and prove where every penny went. And now I had a 45-minute video of my husband admitting he was planning to commit fraud in our divorce, admitting he wanted to build a false case against me, admitting he had been cheating for 6 months. I saved the video to 3 different cloud services. Then I called my best friend Taylor. Taylor, I said when she answered, I need a lawyer, the best divorce lawyer you know, and I need them today. 2 hours later, I was sitting in the office of Patricia Okonkwo, a divorce attorney Taylor's cousin had used last year. Patricia was a tall Nigerian woman in her 50s with sharp eyes and an even sharper mind. She watched my video twice. Then she looked up at me. Do you have joint accounts? Yes. Everything is joint. Credit cards? All joint. Well, I have one card in just my name that I use for small personal things. But the main cards are all joint. Good. Can you access online statements? Yes. Patricia leaned forward. Here's what we're going to do. First, tonight, you're going to go home and act completely normal. Don't let him know you know anything. Can you do that? I thought about it. It would be the hardest performance of my life. But for $350,000? For my dignity? For revenge against his betrayal? Yes, I said. I can do that. Perfect. Tomorrow, you're going to come back here with printouts of every bank statement, credit card statement, and financial document you can get your hands on. We're going to look for any suspicious spending, any money he might be hiding, any transfers to accounts you don't know about. She pulled out a legal pad. We're also going to file for divorce first, before he does. We're going to use this video as evidence of adultery and financial planning to defraud you of marital assets. In this state, that's serious. We can ask for a larger share of assets due to his infidelity and his plan to hide money. How much larger? I asked. Patricia smiled. If we play this right, you might walk away with 60 or 70% of everything. That night was the worst night of my life. Marcus came home at 8:15, kissed me on the cheek like he always did, and asked what was for dinner. I had cooked his favorite chicken and rice. I served it to him with a smile. We ate together at the kitchen table like we did every night. He told me about his fake meetings. I told him about my real day at work, leaving out the part where I discovered my husband was a lying cheater. After dinner, we watched television together on the couch. He fell asleep halfway through the show, his head on my shoulder. I looked down at him and felt nothing. No love, no anger even, just cold determination. The next morning, I called in sick to work. As soon as Marcus left for his office, I went to every file cabinet and drawer in our house. I found our tax returns from the last 5 years, bank statements, investment account paperwork, the deed to our house, both car titles, his employment contract, everything. I made copies of everything. Then I went to our bank and asked for printed statements for all our accounts going back 2 years. The teller gave me a strange look, but printed them all out. 217 pages total. Then I went to Patricia's office. We spent 4 hours going through every document. And we found it. The evidence we needed. Starting 8 months ago, Marcus had been transferring money out of our joint savings account. Not huge amounts. Usually around $2,000 or $3,000 at a time. It went to an account I had never heard of. Over 8 months, he had moved a total of $18,000. Patricia made notes. This is perfect. He was hiding money in preparation for the divorce. That's illegal. We also found credit card charges to expensive restaurants I never went to. Hotels in the city where we lived, which made no sense unless he was using them to meet someone. Charges to a jewelry store for a purchase of $3,000. I never received any jewelry. He bought that for her, I said. For Simone. Patricia nodded. Gifts to his mistress using marital funds. Even better. By the end of the day, we had a complete picture. Marcus had spent nearly $30,000 on his affair. He had hidden $18,000. And he had been planning to lie in court about me to avoid splitting our assets fairly. We filed for divorce the next morning. We requested an emergency hearing. We submitted the video as evidence along with all the financial records. We asked for 70% of all marital assets, full equity in the house, and that Marcus be required to pay my legal fees. The papers were served to him at his office that afternoon. His lawyer called Patricia within an hour. What is this? We haven't even filed yet. How does she know? Patricia's voice was ice cold. My client has evidence of your client's affair, his plans to defraud her in divorce proceedings, his hiding of marital assets, and his use of marital funds to support his mistress. Unless you want all of this to come out in open court, I suggest you advise your client to accept our terms. There was a long silence. Then I'll call you back. Marcus called me 32 times that night. I didn't answer. He sent texts begging me to talk to him. I blocked his number. He showed up at our house at 10 p.m. I had changed the locks that afternoon. He pounded on the door for 20 minutes before finally leaving. The next day, I got a call from Patricia. They want to settle. They're offering 65% of assets to you, the house, and his agreement to pay your legal fees. In exchange, you agree not to make the video public and not to file for damages for emotional distress. I thought about it. I could push for more. I could make him suffer more. But honestly, I was tired. I just wanted it over. Tell them yes, I said. But I have one more condition. What's that? I want him to sign a statement admitting to the affair and the financial fraud. I wanted in writing that he did this and that I divorced him because of his actions. I don't want him ever to be able to tell people I was the problem. Patricia paused. That's not usually part of these settlements. I don't care. It's my condition. No statement, no deal. She called back an hour later. He agreed. The divorce was final 6 weeks later. I got the house. I got $370,000 in cash and retirement accounts. I got both cars. I got a written statement signed by Marcus admitting everything. He got to leave without the video being published online. That was it. The day the divorce was final, I went to that same coffee shop. Brew and Bean. I sat at the same corner table. I ordered the same cappuccino. And I posted an ad online selling the house. I was moving to a new city, starting completely over. With $370,000 and the knowledge that I wasn't the weak, agreeable pushover Marcus thought I was. 2 months after the divorce, I was settling into my new apartment in Charlotte when I got a call from Taylor. You need to hear this, she said. It's all over Facebook. What is? Marcus and Simone. They broke up. Apparently she found out he has no money now. Once he paid you the settlement, he was basically broke. She dumped him immediately. I smiled. Of course she did. She never loved him. She loved what she thought he had. Taylor continued. But here's the best part. His company found out about the affair. One of their policies is no relationships with clients. Guess what Simone does for work? What? She works for one of Marcus's biggest clients. He was having an affair with a client representative. That's a violation of his employment contract. They fired him last week. I almost dropped my phone. He lost his job? Yep. And apparently his mom is furious with him. She keeps calling him and crying about how he threw away a good wife for nothing. His brother won't talk to him. He's basically been cut off from the whole family. For the first time since that day in the coffee shop, I laughed. Really laughed. That's not even all of it, Taylor said. Remember that condo downtown Simone wanted? The one they were going to buy together? Yeah, she bought it. With her new boyfriend. Some lawyer she met at a bar. They just posted pictures from their housewarming party. Marcus isn't in any of them. I hung up and sat on my new couch in my new apartment, looking out at the Charlotte skyline. 7 years of marriage had ended in the worst way possible. But sitting here now, I realized something. Marcus didn't destroy my world that day in the coffee shop. He freed me from it. I had a job I was good at. I had money in the bank. I had a fresh start in a new city where nobody knew me as Marcus's wife. I was just Keisha. Just me. And that was enough. Did you like the story? Let me know which city you're listening from. Thank you so much for your support. I'm looking forward to your comments on the story. On the screen, you can see 2 new life stories that I highly recommend. Don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next story. With love and respect.